Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is a construction hub. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe. So you really want to join the construction industry. You want to open up your own construction company so you can enter the industry and win those jobs, those bids that you really look forward to win and make that profit. But then we want to talk about some of the reasons why most construction companies fail, or why most contractors fail, and the reason why you too can fail if you really don't adhere to some of the correct practices that you need to take into account as you go about your construction journey. So one of the reasons why most construction companies fail is, firstly, they prioritize profit over quality. Well, the purpose of almost every business is to make profit. And so, again, it won't make very much sense if, let's say, you prioritize profit over quality. Because if you say, all we want is to make profit and the quality of your products are bad, it renders everything useless. So it's very important that we make sure the quality is very good. In fact, in most cases, it's important that the quality is even much more greater than the profit. Because when the quality is better, the client is happy. And when the client is happy, you will be recommended for other big jobs where you are going to get more profits. The second reason why most construction companies fail is that they do not engage trained or skilled personnel. So at times you'll find that somebody who owns a construction company will feel as though it's too much of a wage bill to have these skilled professionals or these well-trained professionals to come and be engaged so they can help boost the projects and the company that he or she owns. So most times these trained and skilled professionals, they influence as to how much you're going to spend on a project, how much time you spend on that project, and is this project going to be of quality? Those are some of the advantages of having these trained professionals. So a contractor will say, nah, I don't want to employ trained professionals. And as a result, substandard works are done on these projects. Projects are prolonged. And next, the quality is compromised. And what next? The contractor is rendered incompetent and they are no longer being given jobs and eventually they fail. Now, the third reason is some contractors solely rely on connections. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a network of clients or of fellow contractors. But then it's very important not to solely rely on these connections. Why? Because solely relying on connections might lead to breeding a ground for illegal dealings or corruption. So you'll find that this contractor, instead of being competitive, because the industry is competitive, and investing in their company and growing their capacity, what do? They just solely rely on somebody giving them a job because of the relation that they have. But is that always the case? Certainly not. What if checks and balances are carried out and there are strict measures as to each and every person that is going to be awarded the contract must go through the right channels and must compete together with other contractors to get this job? But because you solely relied on connections and you could not compete effectively, too bad for you. You're not going to be given those jobs and eventually you're going to fail. Well, the fourth reason is poor pricing of bills of quantities. Now, bills of quantities, this is a document or documents that give you the whole scope of the project that you're about to undertake. And eventually, they also indicate or show the amount at which a contractor is going to undertake those works. Now, if you poorly price these bills of quantities, you're going to make losses on projects. Why? Because you may underquote the works. So the bill of quantity might have certain descriptions. For example, let's say solid filled block work for foundation walls. Now these foundation walls, when they are solid filled, of course, you're going to put concrete within the blocks. So they could be hard because you're putting them in the foundation. But then, if you underprice you're going to make a loss. And eventually, you might lose out on funds and your company might fall or fail. So it's very important that you engage the right person to price these bills of quantities, preferably a quantity surveyor, because they are specialized in that field. So if a contractor does not know how to build rates, for example, the rates that you're going to put in the bill of quantities for the items that you're pricing, it's going to be bad for you. Why? Because you may be disappointed that you've underquoted because you did not know how to build the rates. So poor pricing of bills of quantities might lead to your company failing. And the last but not least is insufficient cash flow. Now, the way the construction industry is set up is that it's not always that you're going to win jobs. Life happens sometimes. You're not going to have jobs, you're not going to have this and that. So it's very important that the moment you win a job and you're able to make some money off it, you use that money wisely, or you plan for it very well, or you invest, or you diversify. But then, because of the insufficient cash flows coming into the company, your workers won't be paid and they may leave. They may leave, and they might spread even rumors or the news about your company to say, well, you don't pay, you don't give money, you don't do this, you don't do that. But you don't want that for your company. So insufficient cash flow can really lead to the downfall of your company as a contractor. Why? Because you do not have other means of earning money. So it's very important that you have multiple streams of income to sustain your company. So when you win that job, make sure you diversify, you invest, or you plan very well. So that in the event that you do not have jobs, there is still sufficient cash flow or still sufficient funds to sustain the company and the human resource. So those are some of the 5 reasons why most construction companies fail. Make sure to really look at them very careful so that you can also fill in the blanks. If, let's say, you notice that one of these reasons is popping up into your company or is really trying to creep into your company, make sure you hammer it and see how you can mitigate the situation. All right, guys.